Good morning. Welcome to yoga this morning, which will be focused around twist spines and a bit of a flow. To start today, we're going to sit with our legs crossed, sitting up nice and tall, straight spine, shoulder blades down the back. Just remembering to pop a playlist on and to listen to your body and practice mindfully today. So only go as far as you can go. If I have anyone practicing who is pregnant, just be mindful of the twists. The way that the twists work in the body is by when we twist, we restrict blood flow to the abdomen. And then when we release it, the blood flow continues. So it really helps with digestion. It helps with detoxifying any of our organs like our liver or our kidneys. But it does the same thing with the fetus. So if you twist, it restricts blood flow to the uterus if it's a closed twist. So I'll talk about those once we start getting into some of the twists. So a big shoulder roll up to the ears and down the back. Taking in a few deep breaths. Just starting to recognize your surroundings. Recognize how the body's feeling this morning. And then allowing the shoulders to rest down the back. Just slightly tucking the chin to the chest. Taking in another 3 deep breaths. Feeling the chest rise and fall. Allowing the body to wake up with all the fresh oxygen traveling around the body. Then inhaling the hands up to the ceiling. Twisting to the left, right hand, left knee, left hand behind the body. Big twist, pushing against the knee to deepen the stretch through the spine. And inhaling the hands and torso back to center. Exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand behind. And inhale back to center. Once more on each side, twisting to the left. Keeping the shoulders down the back, lengthening through the spine. Inhaling back to center and to the right. And back to center, and allowing the arms to float down by your sides. Straightening through both legs. We're just going to start by walking the feet out, so bending through the ankles, through the knees, gently massaging the legs. Noticing what you can feel, noticing all the sensations within the legs, your clothing against your skin, sitting up nice and tall. Straightening through both legs, drawing the toes back towards you. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling and exhale, folding forward. So if you can't reach your toes, just holding onto your shins, walking the hands towards the ankles, tucking the chin to the chest, reaching forward. Using the breath as you exhale to fold a little deeper. And inhaling the hands up and down by your sides. We're going to separate the feet a little bit wider than the mat. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling and exhale, folding forward, reaching towards the toes or towards the shins. A couple of deep breaths here. Taking the right hand to the left foot. We're going to take the left hand behind the body, reaching, turning and looking towards the left thumb. And then returning the left foot to the left leg, right hand to right leg, and then left hand to right leg. Taking the right fingertips behind the body, twisting, taking a breath. You can hold onto your shin here if you need to. Returning the right hand and then the left hand back to the left leg. Inhaling the hands up and down by your sides. This time separating the feet as far as you can go, lifting up through the chest. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling and exhale, folding forward, taking the hands to the toes or to the shins. Just leaning forward here. So we're really wanting to fold from the pelvis, fold from the hips, reaching nice and long. Taking the right hand to the left leg, left hand behind the body. And back to center. Right hand to right foot, followed by the left. And then the right hand behind the body. And then returning the right hand and left hand. And inhaling up to center, allowing the arms to float down by your sides. Folding through the legs, we're going to tilt forward into tabletop. So you can either shift your weight forward from your legs crossed, or you can tuck your feet to one side to find tabletop. So making sure that the wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Just finding your positioning, making sure the distance of the hands and knees is shoulder and hip width apart. Nice neutral spine, shoulder blades down the back. We're going to drop the belly as we lift through the head and tailbone into cow. And exhale, belly button to the spine, tucking the tailbone and chin into cat. Inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, belly button to the spine. One more breath here. And then back to a neutral spine. Taking the right fingertips up to the ceiling in a twist. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, threading the right hand underneath the left, dropping the shoulder down to the mat, threading the needle. You can push into the left hand to deepen the stretch, to deepen the twist. One breath here. Pressing into the left hand, taking the fingertips up to the ceiling and back down onto the mat. And now with the left side, left fingertips reaching up nice and tall. And exhale, threading the left hand underneath the right, dropping the shoulder and the head down to the mat. Pushing into the right palm to deepen the stretch here. Deep breath in. pressing into the right hand, returning the left fingertips up to the ceiling and down to the mat. We're going to drop down to our elbows here, placing our hands on the mat. We're going to move through cat-cow from this alternate position. So as we breathe in, we want to drop the belly, lifting up through the crown of the head. And exhale, belly button to the spine, dropping the head between the hands. Inhale, dropping the belly. And exhale, belly button to the spine. One more breath. Breathing in here, looking towards the thumbs, dropping the chest, chin or forehead down to the mat, stretching through the shoulders. Taking a breath, allowing the chest to settle a little closer to the mat. And then slowly walking the elbows back underneath the shoulders and then pressing back up onto the hands. Just gently moving from side to side, releasing through the upper back and through the spine. Tucking the toes, we're going to lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. If the hamstrings are tight, keeping the knees slightly bent. As we start to bend through alternate knees, stretching through the calves and through the posterior chain. Stepping the right foot to the right hand. Finding your balance, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling into a high lunge. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, returning the left knee back down to the mat into a low lunge. Interlacing the fingers, placing them onto the right knee, pressing the hips forward here. Left hand onto the right knee, taking the right hand behind the body. And so you can stay here, or you can wrap the right arm around the body towards the left hip. And unwrapping, placing the right hand onto the knee. Stepping the hands down to the mat. Walking that left knee a little bit further away. And then reaching the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Folding along that right thigh. And then wrapping the left hand around the body towards the right hip. Returning the left hand to the ceiling and then back down to the mat. Tucking the left toes, lift the knee, step the left foot forward into a forward fold. Being mindful here with the hamstrings, noticing any tightness, keeping the knees slightly bent to soften them. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, so hands on the shins or hands on the mat. Exhale, folding forward. Bending through the knees, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling, slightly back. And exhale, folding forward. Stepping the right foot back, left foot back into plank. Option here to drop to the knees as we bend through the elbows. And then inhale, cobra. So just being mindful here if the back is tight, keeping the elbows bent. Tucking the toes. Lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the left foot to the left hand. Finding your balance, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling. Deep breath in and exhale the right knee back down to the mat. Interlacing the fingers, returning them to the left knee and pushing forward with the hips. Keeping the right hand on the left knee, taking the left hand behind the body, twisting. You can leave your arm out, reaching for the back of the room, or you can wrap it around the body towards the right hip. And then returning it to the back of the room and back to the knee. Stepping the hands down on the inside of the left foot, pushing forward with the hips. Taking the right fingertips up to the ceiling, folding along the left leg. Wrapping the right hand around towards the left hip. Taking a breath here, opening through the chest. So this is an open twist. Returning the right fingertips up to the ceiling and down to the mat. Tucking the right toes, lift the right knee, stepping the right foot forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending through the knees, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling. And exhale, folding forward. Stepping the left foot back, right foot back. Option to drop to the knees as we bend through the elbows and inhale, cobra. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the right foot between the hands. Dropping the left heel down to the mat. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling into warrior one. Shoulder blades down the back. Placing the palms together and twisting to the left. Floating the hands down, looking towards the right fingertips into warrior two. Keep bending into that front knee. Turning the right palm up to the ceiling, inhaling it up and over, placing the left hand on the left thigh. Cartwheeling the arms, placing the right elbow onto the right knee and extending the left fingertips overhead. Reaching nice and long. Breathing into the left side. And then returning the left fingertips up to the ceiling and the right down to the floor. Taking a breath here. We're going to take the left fingertips behind the body, reaching around towards the right thigh. And we're going to take our right hand underneath the right leg, reaching around towards the left fingertips. Just taking a breath and holding here. So this is our first bind. Stretching through the hip. And then returning the right hand to the mat, left hand up to the ceiling, down to the mat. Stepping the left foot forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending through the knees, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling, slightly back. And exhale, folding forward. Stepping the right foot back, left foot back. Option to drop to the knees, bending through the elbows. Inhaling, cobra. And tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the left foot between the hands. Dropping the right heel down to the mat. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling into warrior one. Shoulder blades down the back, bending into that left knee. Palms together, facing the right angle. Dropping the hands down, looking towards the left palm into Warrior Two. Left hand up to the ceiling, inhaling it up and over, right hand on right leg. And cartwheeling the arms, left elbow onto the left knee, reaching over with the right fingertips. Reaching through that right side, stretching nice and long. And then taking the right fingertips to the ceiling, left fingertips to the mat. Wrapping the right hand behind the back towards the left leg. And then taking the left hand underneath the left leg, reaching around towards the right fingertips. Holding here. Reaching a little bit closer together if you can't quite reach the fingertips. And then returning the left hand to the mat, right hand up to the ceiling, down to the mat, and stepping the right foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending through the knees, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling, slightly back. And exhale, folding forward. Stepping the left foot back, stepping the right foot back. Option to drop to the knees as we bend through the elbows. And inhale, cobra. And then sit back into child's pose. Joining the big toes together, separating the knees, allowing the upper body to settle, moving it from left to right. Dropping the forehead down to the mat and allowing the upper body to relax here. Connecting the third eye to the mat. Taking a couple of deep breaths. You can stay here in child's pose, or you can slowly lift through the head, taking the right hand underneath the left arm, dropping the shoulder and head down to the mat. Taking a breath. Pressing into the left hand, sliding the right out in front, and then the left underneath the right, dropping the shoulder and head down to the mat. Pressing into the right palm, extending the left out in front, and then lifting up into tabletop. We're going to come over onto our backs, so you can either cross the ankles sitting back, finding the center of the mat. With knees bent, we're going to take the arms out in front and slowly uncurl the spine. Placing the hands down by our sides, straightening through the right leg, drawing the left knee into the chest, right hand onto the left knee, guiding it across the body, taking the left hand out like an anchor. Placing the left foot onto the right thigh. To deepen the stretch here, you can bend through the right knee, taking the left hand to the right toes into cat's tail. Taking a breath, twisting through the body, noticing the restriction of the lungs here. With each breath, pushing down into all the organs. Releasing the right toes, straightening through the right leg. Inhaling the left knee back up to center. Placing the foot on the mat and extending the left leg. Taking a breath, allowing the blood flow to return to the core, to the abdomen. And then drawing in the right knee, left hand onto the right knee, right hand out like an anchor as you guide the right knee across the left side of the body. Placing the right foot onto the left thigh. So you can rest here, or you can bend through the left knee, taking the right hand to the left foot. A few deep breaths. Releasing the left toes, straightening through the left leg, guiding the right leg across the body back to center, placing the right foot on the mat, extending the leg out, inhaling the hands up and over the head, pointing the toes, pointing the fingers, feeling a straight line through the body, drawing the belly button to the spine, reaching nice and long. And then placing the hands down by your sides, bending through the knees, walking the feet back onto the mat and drawing the knees into your chest. Placing your hands on your knees and gently circling. Nice big circles. And then back in the opposite direction. Releasing through the spine, through the hips. And then back to center. Gently rolling onto your left side. Tucking the shoulder, allowing the head to rest on the mat. Taking a breath here. Allowing the head and the heart to settle. When you're ready, using your hands to help you come up to a seated position. Nice and slow. Sitting with the legs crossed. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like to. Lifting up through the chest with a nice long neutral spine. Rolling the shoulders. And then allowing the shoulders to rest down the back. Taking the palms together at the heart center. Taking a moment here to set your intention for today. Something that you intend to do. Could be relating to your mindset, to an activity, something on your to-do list. Could be related to communication, to relationships, to the way that you respond to things. Taking a moment here to repeat your intention to yourself, locking it into the heart center. And thank you for joining me on the mat this morning. Namaste.